Hello everyone, Sodor Railway Studios here, and today I'm going to be doing a Q&A regarding my Thomas fan series, Sodor Railway Tales. So, yesterday I did a post asking for questions. I set up some rules for the questions, and whatnot. So, here I'm going to be answering some questions that people asked about that. So, I think the first question is one I think this would be a good one to start with, and it's from Logan the Movie Guy 2K8. He asks, "What is your favorite episode so far?" Oh, that is a really difficult one, I'm gonna be honest. My favorite episode my favorite episode of season 1, I think, is definitely Oliver's family reunion. Because I really liked how I gave a bit more character development for Oliver in that episode. Like, I gave him a bit more of a backstory with his siblings and whatnot. And I also liked introducing Olivia, who was his sister and my first ever OC character. Um, I'm not sure if I will create more OCs in the future. Well, I probably will, because William Pulfer Melville's created an OC for me called Kirk, who will be appearing in a season 3 episode called Duncan Takes a Stand that he suggested. But yeah, Oliver's Family Reunion's my favorite season 1 episode, definitely. Season 2, I'm not sure about that, honestly, because I can't decide between Trevor's New Whistle or Triple Teething Troubles, the one that I've released most recently. I uploaded it yesterday at the time of me recording this video. So yeah, my favorite from season 1 is Oliver's Family Reunion, but other favorites of mine from that season are Rosie's New Pet, Emily's Grumpy Friend, Fergus's Day Off, Red Engine Rivalry, and possibly Charlie's Big Mistake as well. So that was Logan's question. The next question is from my good friend Real Sean Caffrey. And he asks, which episodes do you personally think work the best in the official Thomas canon? Well, I think all of them could work in the official Thomas canon, actually. I think a good, they all have good enough plots to be featured in the official Thomas canon, I suppose. But one in particular that I think could definitely work in the official Thomas canon is Charlie's Big Mistake, which was episode 3 of season 1, because that episode takes place during the events of Not So Slow Coaches from season 18, because it shows Charlie's side of the story rather than Thomas's or Annie and Clarabelle's. So yeah, I definitely think that one could work, but then some of the other ones I think could also work, like Red Engine Rivalry in particular. That could easily work in the official Thomas canon. Like, I'm very surprised they never made a story about James and Mike in the TV series. And also Oliver's Family Reunion, like I said earlier. Possibly a few other ones as well, like Trevor's New Whistle, maybe. Next, I have 3 questions from Postman Douglas 2011. And his first question is, what vocal performances do you think have improved in this particular series? I wouldn't say they've improved, but I have enjoyed a lot of performances from most of the voice actors in my series. Like, I think that you in particular, Postman Douglas 2011, I especially love your performance as Diesel. Specifically in season 2, now that Trevor's New Whistle and Triple Teething Troubles have come out, but I did like your performance in Stop Smiling Rebecca as well. I also think that my Henry voice, I think, has improved slightly as well, because I voice Henry in the series, because he's my favorite Thomas character. So I feel like my Henry impression has improved improved a bit. That's probably me being my own worst critic, but there we go. But other than that, I don't know if there are any performances I think have improved. I think it's just a case of me enjoying the performances. Like, for example, Ashley Menard, for example, who voices most of the female characters in the series. I've enjoyed all her performances in the series, especially ones like uh Rosie, for example. Like I really enjoy when I have her voice Rosie, like in Rosie's New Pet, for example, and in Spencer and the Sparrows. Um, because not only do I think she does a really cute voice for her, but the giggles that she does for Rosie and basically all the characters when they giggle, her giggles are just adorable as Rosie. But yeah, that's my answer to that question. His next question is, what episodes am I planned to be in? Not trying to sound self-centered, he says. Um, I don't think that sounds. I don't think that's particularly self-centered. I think I think it's just curiosity rather than narcissism. Um, but I don't know all the episodes that I plan to feature Postman Douglas 2011 in. I know for a fact I'm gonna include you in uh Peter Sam the Hero because Harold is gonna have a small role in that episode, and also I think Freddy as well, because I think I cast you as Freddy. Um, and I know I'm also gonna need you for a couple of season 3 episodes, like Harold and the Big Balloons, for example, which is based on the Postman Pat Special Delivery Service episode Big Balloons. Um, and then also of course I'll need you for Toby and Diesel, which is another season 3 episode, which is based on a couple of magazine stories that had a little dynamic between Toby and Diesel. So yeah, other than that, I'm not too sure at the moment, but I'll think about it. Um, and his last question is, which characters have been your favorite to write about in this series? I'm not too sure actually. I enjoy writing for all of them, really. But ones in particular, I think maybe Fergus, for example, in Fergus's Day Off. Like I enjoyed because in that episode I kind of like showed off a bit of a different side to Fergus, like one that's not constantly shouting "do it right" all the time. I think I showed off like a more curious side to Fergus because he'd never had a day off before until that episode. I also enjoyed writing let's see Oliver in Oliver's Family Reunion, like I said, like giving him a new backstory and whatnot. Um, I also really enjoyed writing for the rivalry between Mike and James in Red Engine Rivalry. That one was quite fun. And also Charlie in Charlie's Big Mistake, because I know a lot of people, because I know Charlie, of course, Charlie is one of the most hated characters in the entire series. So I decided I could maybe at least try to get people to like him for a change. Hence why I made him learn his lesson and change his ways at the end of the episode. Even though, of course, I still have him tell jokes because you know he's Charlie. But I'm just gonna say they're not gonna he's not gonna do it quite as frequently, and they might not be as corny either. Um so yeah, those are some of the the those are some of my favorite characters to write for the series. And also Duncan as well. Duncan in general is just really fun to write for. I especially love writing him in Emily's Grumpy Friend, the first episode of the series. The next question is from Gregory the Enterprising Steam Engine, and he asks, "Will Mighty Mac have a role in Sodor Railway Tales one day?" Um, he technically they already have because I gave them both because I gave them a small role in Detective Duncan, which was episode 5 of season 1. Because I had it because they were the ones that accidentally took the missing slate trucks in that episode. Um, I'm not sure if I'm gonna give them any lead roles anytime soon, but I might consider giving them a lead role, like maybe for season 3 or possibly season 4 if I ever make a season 4. Um, but yeah, I might give Mighty Mac a couple of small roles every now and then, but at the moment I don't really have plans to give them any lead roles. And we also have a similar question that was asked by Island of Sodor Films, and he asked, "Will Ivo Hugh be in Sodor Railway Tales?" Um, that I'm not particularly sure about, because on the one hand, I do want to include Ivo Hugh, and I want to include a few other Railway series characters as well, because I included Jock and Frank in Red Engine Rivalry, but I do want to include a few more Railway series characters in there, like maybe Bear or Wilbert or maybe even 16. Um, or Victoria, I suppose. But at the moment, I haven't got any plans to include Ivo Hugh in Sodor Railway Tales. So I might end up giving him a role in season 3, maybe. Though it probably won't be a lead role, because I mean, Ivo Hugh's quite a difficult character to write for, if we're being honest, considering he didn't even because he only appeared in one Railway series story and he didn't even speak. So I mean, you can pretty much give him whatever personality you want, but yeah, yeah, I do find characters like that a bit difficult to write for. Unless they're hit era characters. I do quite like writing for hit era characters, like because I give them Rosie quite a lot of spotlight, because as I've mentioned, she's my favorite female character. But at the moment, I don't have plans to include Ivo Hugh. These next questions are both from MP, as his channel name is, or Mark Patton, as his original channel name was. And his first question is, any wedding episodes you plan to write? At the moment, I don't have any, unfortunately, but I mean, who knows? Maybe that might change at some point later on. Like maybe if I get to like late season 3, possibly season 4. But at the moment, there aren't any wedding episodes planned. And his other question is, will there be an episode with hot air balloons? Um, I don't have any plans currently, unless you count Harold and the Big Balloons. Like I said, that's going to be helium balloons, not hot air balloons. But now that you mention it, I might actually have to consider making an episode where I actually bring back the red balloon from James and the Red Balloon. So I might consider doing that one day. The next one is from Auto Tank Engine, the GWR 64 engine. Gosh, that's a bit of a mouthful. And he asks, will there be a crossover episode in Sodor Railway Tales? No, probably not, because on the one on because for one thing, I would prefer for this series to be its own thing and not completely flooded with crossovers. And also because I already have a crossover series called Joe's World, which was inspired by real Sean Caffrey in both of his series, called Sean's World and his current one, Sean's Next Big Adventures. So I do have a crossover series, but there's not going to be any crossovers in Sodor Railway Tales. Um, I might make references to other shows. Like I technically already have with because in Triple Teething Troubles I made a reference to Transformers Prime by having Derek say, "Oh scrap" when he breaks down. Um, so I might include references to other shows, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do an actual crossover in it in Sodor Railway Tales. And the last question is from William Pulfer Melville, and he asks, will there be any more episodes where you have me do a major role? Um, Probably, yeah, probably at some point, because I know a character in particular that is probably going to have a major role in season 2 is Boko, because he's going to be appearing in Arthur and the Twins, which will be episode 6 of season 2, and also the Journey Beyond Sodor characters as well, because I know that William, because I know William, you've expressed interest in voicing Hurricane and Theo, so you'll probably end up having a major role voicing both of them, and maybe one of the mainland diesels as well. So yeah, that's my answer to that question. And that's the end of this Q&A. I hope I delivered a valid answer to each and every one of your questions. I always try to make sure that I deliver an acceptable answer. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.